Hello everybody, bienvenido a todo. Welcome to Vabrut with me Vabrut, and we are in BeamNG.Drive as you can see, and we are doing once again the base model challenge. And well, as you can see, I've got the basis of base models, a Dacia, back where it all began, but not the Sandero. This is the first generation Duster, which is quite a few years old now. I think early 2010s maybe. Think in 2011, something like that, when it first came out. And obviously Dacia, Romanian brand, sort of been around for many years, but it got bought by Renault finally, I think in the late 90s or early 2000s, and then they started investing in it, because before then it was just making very old, like 20-year-old Renaults that they had just slapped some new bumpers on, and then they got investment, and now they make pretty handsome and desirable cars. Like this was like, I don't think it was ever a handsome car, but like, it was in keeping with the time. It wasn't like 20 years out of date. And now the Duster, the current Duster, is looks really great. I mean, still feels cheap because it is a very cheap car, but it looks great. So this is going to be this is a 1.6 petrol, non-turbo. So I think it's a 4-cylinder engine, but I think it was quite an old Renault engine. So I'm not given past couple of videos where I've really not done well at all. I don't know if I'm expecting much. Now, number 10 is a 1.4 Peugeot partner. I feel like I should be able to beat that. But my driving skills haven't been on par. I swear, when I'm not filming myself, I'm just doing free roam, I can drive like a pretty high spec BMW 535 around that track without an issue. Turn the camera on, give me a 1-cylinder, a 1-liter 3-cylinder car, and I'm all over the place. I don't know what it is. Okay, and we got the, yeah, I mean, well, you know what? I feel like I should be able to beat that Jeep Cherokee. I know it was a 2.5 and it's diesel and it's like pretty powerful, but still, it was heavy and 90s. Oh, I should be able to beat that bloody. I should be able to beat a Renault 21 even with a Dacia. I'm not expecting to get to 5th place. Nowadays, it's a miracle if I can even break 11 minutes. I don't know how the hell I managed to break 10 minutes. That car was like insanely powerful, and I think I did it on my 3rd try. Maybe I need to give myself more try. But then again, where's that bloody car I did the other week where I just bombed completely? What was the last video? Was that the last video I did? Was it? Oh no! It wasn't. Maybe it wasn't so bad. Oh yeah, there was. There's the Lexus, the bane of my life that I thought was going to get into the top 5. I thought I could do this, and it ended up 22nd. It ended up after a base Golf, after a Dacia Logan Estate. So I don't necessarily have high hopes for this Dacia, but I'm hoping I can concentrate and drive. It's just because I think talking and driving is probably the problem. But if I just drive in silence, that's the point of that being a video. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed and hope that I can do this. And while I'm doing that, I'll think of my second car. Again, I'm like, oh god, I just hearing the sound of it, I'm like, this car is not going anywhere. Oh, we got a tiny bit of wheel spin. So this is the 2-wheel drive version. As you can see, that the exterior model is all right, but the interior is like very not all right. But I don't complain. If I get a mod for free, I'm not gonna turn around and say the person should have catered to me. I will pay for quality, but it's not for me to dictate that people should make things. It's like a labor of love, these kind of games where you can mod a car in. Okay, I'll be honest. It's a little bit faster than I thought it would be, but like from the sound of that engine, I really did think, okay, that was light. That was light, no damage. I don't know why I was hitting to that right. It's because I'm like, I need to just go fast. I need to go fast. Even though I know, and I'm slowing down going to that corner, and I still go too fast. think also a lot of the cars I've been driving have tended to be front-wheel drive, understeery cars. And maybe because I'm thinking, well, I could go around that corner quite fast in the BMW, I'm thinking, but that's the BMW's rear-wheel drive, so it has slightly better driving dynamics. Those BMWs do. They went with a front-wheel drive car, you can't rely on the weight of the car to pull you through a corner, because with a front-wheel drive car, the weight of the car is pulling you off the side of the track. Okay, this does feel quite leisurely actually now. But, you know, it's not like the Insignia felt like it was bloody fast. That was a 1.5 diesel. You know, it does have a pretty smacking turbo that makes it quite fast. The trick is just not to crash, basically. It's not to come off the road, and I keep thinking that if I can get around without coming off the road, smashing the car up and slowing down because my steering's all screwed, then I can be competitive with that top 5, because basically all it requires is, in the absence of power, all it requires is that I can make it round without handicapping myself by trashing the car. Easier said than done, though, to be honest. Easier said than done. But no, whilst I think this older Duster, like the first gen, you know, their first try, whilst I think it is quite like, I think one day it will be like, I hate the word iconic, but I can't think of a synonym. I think it'll be like famous, like say the Lada, is it the Lada Niva? That little 3-door off-roader from the 70s and 80s. They, like, you still see them around Western Europe. Like, oh fuck. Nope, that's done it. Nope, I've fucked the wheel. I'm gonna restart. I'm sorry, I have no patience now. I'm like, I just can't. Is it the Lada Niva? I think that's what it was called. Probably had different names everywhere, to be honest. But that was like a well, maybe, I guess it had a hatchback. But it's quite like, you know, no, I think they did a 5-door version as well, actually. It's not iconic, but it's very, you see it and you immediately think that's a Lada. You think that's Russia. I mean, it maybe at the time it wasn't that famous, but like once you started seeing those Russian dashcam videos for like compilations on YouTube from like the early 2010s onwards, it just became like one of those symbols, like the old Ladas are, because like you see them in a crash and they just like fall apart, but they're just like so familiar as like so old Soviet cars. And still so many of them as well. But then also you see the people like who soup them up, like really invest their money to make them look absolutely like slick. And so they have this sort of double life as being like a cool blingy car. Like oh, what is it in the UK? Vauxhall Novus. Like cheap tinny car. Literally just like cheap sort of super mini from the 80s, but then sort of in the 90s and then 2000s it took on this sort of like boy racer imagery, and then once it had that, people were going to invest significant amounts of money in like souping them up to the point that like they had sound systems worth thousands. They like invested thousands in like amazing paint jobs and huge alloy wheels, sort of rebuilding the subframe so that it could have like more power to the wheels and everything. Like real investment in these cars. Like that's what the Lada Niva has. I'm sure it's called the Niva, but I might just be thinking that because the other one was called the Lada Riva. Come on. Bloody corner, you silly sausage. Yes! Yeah, but what was I saying? Yeah, so like, well, anyway, I don't know. I think the Dutch, the first gen Duster, will get that kind of reputation in a few years. Like at the moment, it's still a bit like cheap and cheerful second-hand car. But I think eventually, because there's so many and they're cheap, people will start like being like, oh, what would it look like if I like extended the wheel arches to take 21-inch alloys, widened the track, so gave it some big sort of wheel arches, like put some like xenon lights in it. That's what people are going to start doing. Why put like a massive spoiler on the road? I can just see that happening. Not maybe a little bit for the Logan as well, the first Logan, because that was like the car, the like original reinvention of Dacia. Sandero less so, because it's, I mean, it is so pedestrian. And the first gen Sandero as well is really uncool. I mean, I can see some people trying to make it a thing, but I don't think it has. I don't know if it'll have a fan base like I think this will. And I mean, when you see that, like the second gen Duster, and I think that, I don't know if the one we're on now is the fourth or the third, because I think the second gen Duster is the one that I think may also have been the third gen that they might have like done a big facelift for, but it looked very similar to the second gen. Second gen was much more, was like just a refinement of this one. I thought it was actually quite a handsome car in and of itself. And when I look back now, I think, what a fool that I didn't get one. But actually, because I do a lot of quite a bit of motorway driving on road trips, I don't think I'd have appreciated the Dacia with like poor noise insulation and stuff like that. And also that gen just that I think it had the 1 litre or maybe 1.2 turbo that was all right, but then the other engines were quite bad. But yeah, the new Duster, I love the look of. Very handsome. And the Bigster is like even better, because it's just got, the proportions are a little bit nicer. I mean, the Duster itself, actually, it's still it's like one of the few like raw 4x4s you can actually buy that isn't pretending to be anything else. Like, if you just buy the two-wheel drive one, you're getting a rugged looking car, but it's not meant for off-road. You can probably, it's got good ground clearance, so you can probably get it a little bit of the way up a hill, but if you've got the four-wheel drive Duster, you've got like one of the better 4x4s. Because I mean, you could get like, you can get a lot of cars that are plug-in hybrids, or not even plug-in hybrids, just hybrids that have all-wheel drive, because one of the engines powers the front and one of the engines powers the back, but it's not like real four-wheel drive. It's not meant for going off-road. Like Land Rovers still are, because they have to be. Like that's their brand, that they're meant to be. But nobody's buying Range Rovers and taking them off-road. They might do it once or twice, but like the metallic paint options for those cars is like 1,200 quid. You're not going to be. Some people, I guess, farmers do still buy Discoverers and stuff because they need a 4x4 or something. But I guess now, really, for like the commercial end of things, probably Toyota are like the only ones making like really raw 4x4s, or Dacia. I like that Dacia. That Duster does look very handsome. For the front end is very, very nice. And you know, you hear kind of mixed things about it in reviews about it. Well, you know, it feels very cheap inside and stuff like that. Yeah, because hard plastics make things feel cheap because they're a bit echoey or a bit like hollow. But you know, you got to pay quite a bit of money to like have none of that. Like my little Seat Arona has like nice soft touch on the dashboard and stuff, but like the door cards, they're hard plastic. And I wouldn't imagine them not being, if you get what I mean, because cars that are very much more expensive still tend to have hard plastic over most of the door card. Like when you look at reviewers, really all they're looking for is does it have soft plastic on the top? On the top and then where you rest your arm. I mean, where you rest your arm, like on the door handle, like the armrest, yeah, that kind of is fair enough because there's nothing worse than putting your arm on a hard surface for a while. But a lot of the stuff, other stuff, is just like aesthetic. You can have a nice looking interior that has hard plastics. But to feel will be cheap, but it can still look good. Like I've always liked Fiat interiors actually, quite a lot of their cars, and they've always used hard plastics. Like Fiat Panda interiors, I love. They're always fun. And looking at the reviews of the new one, no exception, looks fun. It's got like holographic green trim around the outside of the screen and stuff, and I think it looks fun. But yeah, it's obviously all going to be hard plastic. And honestly, in my car, when there's a very nice soft texture on the top of the dashboard, but it's buggered to clean because it just like you need to get in every single millimeter of it to make sure that because it just collects dust, and because it's soft, it doesn't. You can't just like spray it and move it. You have to really get in there. Right. So I'm going to take a picture at this next corner. I can tell I crash a lot in so many places on this course that when I go through to one corner at like a reasonable speed, I'm like, what's this? What's this? Because I usually crash in the previous corner. And so I've got no concept of what it's like to go through that corner fast. Right, main menu. Oh, it's good to get into this game and play and just not think, oh, no, I don't want main menu. I want photo mode. That's it. Very busy at work at the moment, and so I just having these two-dimensional trees and a simple crappy. No, I don't mean that, Dacia. I'm sorry. A simple, practical car, base model, affordable, reliable car. Yeah, I'll do that. And I'm going to do... Oh, I want camera speed to be a bit faster. Yeah, and then I want aperture to be like this. Okay, no, I need a smaller aperture then, don't I? Okay, I think that is quite good. Yeah, that'll do. Maybe I need to zoom out a bit more actually. Just because I think I'm a little bit in. I'll do that one as well. There we go. That'll do. That's a nice picture. Now, get me in the car and... Now, again, another thing I've realised about what getting a good lap time means is it's so much easier if you get to this final straight with like normal steering that you haven't screwed up by driving into like every wall, because it just means that you don't have to like be tired and what's the word? Fidgety, because you have to keep manipulating the steering wheel to try and keep it straight. Just being able to be like, I don't have to keep touching the steering wheel because I can just accelerate. It helps. Well, I'm not going to break 10 minutes, sadly. I mean, or break sub 10 minutes. But I didn't expect to in this car. Whether I can do it in under 11 remains to be seen. I mean, I guess it means it's... I mean, I suppose... Well, this hill's going to slow me down, but then it's downhill when I get to the top. And then I'll naturally slow down as I start to go uphill again at the bottom, and then Maybe that'll get me around the corner all right. Oh, was that a sub? Fifth! Fuck you, Opel. I'm sorry. But yes, we've got Romania in the top 5. Okay, Dacia Duster did me well. Even if it did kind of prove that, like, even a slow car can get a good time so long as you don't crash it, which is like a poor reflection on my driving, not the cars. That means everything you see that's below this Dacia is because I'm crap at driving, rather than because the cars aren't capable of it. Well, maybe except for that little Fiat 126 that I did, which I didn't do on camera, but I will get around to do it on camera eventually, and that is not capable of doing it in under 15 minutes. Not one bit. This, I'm happy with that. Yeah, I mean that means that I am 6 seconds behind a 5 Series. Granted, a late 80s 5 Series. So, but that's just done well. I'm faster than that Renault 21. Get in. Faster than that Grand Cherokee. I'm faster than the BMW 3 Series Compact, and I'm faster than the S-Class even. I don't think I crashed the S-Class that much, but that was, yeah, that car is, it's like a yacht going around corners. Okay, so, but I'm still, I'm still significantly behind, like, 3rd place. That Skoda Superb. Damn you, Skoda. Right, so I need to find another car now. Okay, so that was like compact 4x4. Okay, so I need something that's not that. I want to do the Audi 80, but there's... No, I'm not going to do the Audi 80 because the base model of that, I just don't think it's... I need to research what the base model is because there's like some wacky engines in that I think might have been like a random special edition somewhere. Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to do the Mercedes, the E-Class, yeah. I want to do the E-Class, the 220 base. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. There we go. Because it's a nice cream colour as well. Now, this could be potential challenger because it's a diesel like the BMW that sits atop the crown, albeit that's a generation newer than this one is. It's the Mercedes E-Class rival from the generation after this one, I think. So we'll see. I do look at like a Mercedes and champagne. The trick. Look at me talking like I know anything. Given how bad I usually drive, but I want to say the trick is to not fucking crash it into walls. Yeah, I mean that really is it. If I can get any car around here without crashing it, the chances are I'm gonna get in the top 5. Eventually, if I keep not crashing cars, then it'll become a challenge. Does this car have ABS? Oh well, it's got traction control, yeah. I'm just thinking, because I mean those wheels are screeching a lot. I always love Mercedes on this era because their interiors are really tacky. I don't really like... I have a love-hate relationship with luxury cars because I think they're very tacky by their nature. Like whenever I see a new Mercedes and it's in their interiors and they're just like screens and iPads and stuff, I'm like, it's tacky. It's tacky. I want an instrument cluster. It can be digital, but it should be a cluster, not just like a blank screen in front of you. If I'm buying like, I don't know, like an Astra or something, then yeah, you can be cheap and you can be funky like that with like just a screen in front of you rather than any sort of clustery instrument sort of design around it. But if I'm buying a Mercedes, if I was going to spend 50 or 60 grand on a car, I want to feel like, you know, there's an instrument cluster. I want to feel like I've got an iPad in front of me. So yeah, I mean, I don't like, and I always think the wood, I think fake wood in cars, or even real wood in cars, just tends to look fake. And it's difficult to make it look not tacky. Admittedly, that's because in the 90s, every car had plastic fake wood. And I mean every car. Like, Rover Metros had it. And like Mondeos, it would be like one of the standard trims would be like, oh, here's a walnut veneer. It's like that. No, that's walnut effect, not walnut. So yeah, and this era as well, they had lots of buttons and they look quite plasticky. And I just, yeah, I never. You fuck. You fucking fuck. That wheel's trashed. No, I'm starting again. Yes, I know, but like I said, I don't have the patience. I do not have the patience to drive around with a wonky wheel anymore. After that Lexus, which was like painful, I think it was like nearly 15 minutes. I'm like, no. No. If I know a car can get it done in under 12 minutes, I'm gonna go for it now. Especially knowing that Dacia can make it into the top 5 if I just don't crash it. Then this, which, you know, significantly faster. I just need to like, I need to not push my luck. Because I somehow did it with that BMW. But I will say, actually, of late, I think Mercedes are nicer, classier looking cars than BMWs. BMW have gone down very hit and miss over many years. They've gone for that like striking bold look, but some of their grills, I don't know how they make the Kidney grill look so ugly, like so like at odds with the car. I just don't know how they manage that. And now they seem to be going back towards the smaller grille again, and maybe just leaving the big grille for like some of the electric 4x4s, and then but like for me, nothing will do better than like a 90s BMW that just has like a understated kidney grille, but like instantly recognizable, as opposed to like modern BMWs where it's like they think you won't recognize it as a BMW, to the point that the grille is so big you don't recognize it as a BMW. Like 9 times out of 10, if I see, like I saw the other day, it was a very new 5 Series, because it had a very weird shape. Well, I assume it was a 5 Series. And like to begin with, I was like, is that a Chinese car? Because they don't have a design language that seems like unique. Whereas Mercedes still, they're old-fashioned a bit now, I think. But they do, when I see a Mercedes, I'm like, yeah, that's a Mercedes. Like those EQS cars that they do, that are kind of like soft and squidgy. No, I don't say not squidgy, but they're like very softly styled. I like it. I think it's much more distinctive, and it's much more Mercedes, coherent Mercedes as they've been for quite a few years now. Whereas BMW seem to like, they went really extreme, like with Chris Bangle in the early 2000s, sort of pinned it back a bit. I think maybe as a result of like backlash to that around the mid 2010s, and now they've really gone out there again, and I just don't think their cars look particularly nice anymore. But at the same time, like, I still wouldn't buy a Mercedes either if I had a choice. I probably wouldn't go for a luxury brand, just at all. I just think that there's too much tack around it. I mean, that's my own prejudice, but yeah, I just think... I was thinking, if I won the lottery, what would I buy? What would I buy? I mean, if I won the lottery, I'd be more concerned that I just don't want people to know that I'm super rich, so I wouldn't be going out buying a Porsche. Although, that Porsche 4x4, is a Porsche Taycan or something? I actually think looks really nice. Again, very understated. It says it's a Porsche in a nice way, without really screaming it at you. And even that electric four-door they do, which is quite ostentatious, but it's still very Porsche, and the overall shape is recognizable as a Porsche without having to look at the details. That cannot be said of BMWs anymore. I mean, I always think like, well, I'll get an Audi because, you know, it's more understated, but even they, nowadays, I think lots of people do that, and too many people do that to the point that it's like, you're buying an Audi because you don't want to, because you don't want to look so ostentatious, but then, by doing that, you're kind of putting yourself in the bracket of an ostentatious person, trying not to be ostentatious, which means you are ostentatious. And not to mention, like, a lot of those Audi 4x4s as well come with huge wheels and stuff, and so they do start looking a bit tacky. So yeah, I mean, if I win the lottery, I mean, I don't know. It'll be hard. Maybe a Volvo, but Volvo's cars are mostly quite old now. They've got like that new EV30, is it? Yeah, that's a nice car. I'd probably, if I won the lottery and could do what I want, then I'd probably have it as a second car. I'd have it as a city runaround. But I'd get the cross edition, the cross country one. Even though it was for the city, I'd be like, yeah, I want it to look rugged. And then I don't know what I'd get as my main car. I mean, safe bet would be like a Volkswagen Tiguan, but then if you get a decent spec one of them, they're very expensive, and so, you know, quite ostentatious. I don't know if it's I'm scared of being ostentatious, or I'm scared of, like, I don't want someone to break into my house and steal my car. It's never going to happen when I've got a Seat. And I'm very budgety, like that. When I look back now, I think, why the fuck did I buy a... I'm going to do the photo here. And I think, why did I buy a Seat? I'll tell you why I did. Because I went originally to look at a Seat at a Citroen, C Cactus, and a and a Dacia Sandero. But the Dacia Sandero, a piece of the boot broke off in my hand. It was like literally only had like 2,000 kilometers on the clock. Oh, come on, mouse. And so that was like, damn it. And it also didn't have alloy wheels, and I don't fancy plastic caps, because I just, even though they look a bit like alloy wheels on the lower spec Dacia, I was just like, no, I don't want to have that sort of feeling if I lose one. It just makes the car look shabby. Oh, I do actually quite like this. Right, so camera speed. Time of day, yeah, a bit more. Yeah, that'll do. And then, ooh, yes, that's nice. Normal. Yes, I do like that. That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose if I would guess that if you'll know I've won the lottery if I start saying I bought a Toyota or something. I actually, you know what? Looking back, no, I'm glad I didn't get the Citroen Cactus. Had a very sort of weird driving position vibe, because it is raised off the floor, but it has a very low roof, and so it actually feels quite cramped inside. And the Dacia also felt quite cramped inside. Like, the back seats didn't have much space at all. I mean, it didn't. Not that it matters. I'm never going to have kids, and I don't really have people in the back seat very often, very often at all. But it felt cramped. Even the front seats felt closer to the dashboard, whereas in the Seat they're a little bit. It feels quite spacious because it's a tall car as well. What else did I look at? Oh, I looked at Vauxhall Crossland. That was alright, actually. Very MPV-like, though, so I didn't like the shape. And the only one they had there, when I had a look, was... it was cheap, but it was tatty. It had been, like there was, like, the trim was tatty. So I was like, no, I don't want to have that. Not as a first car. I want something nicer. Although I should have been thinking, yeah, get me a tatty car take me a tatty car as a first car. Did I look at anything else? No, I think. Oh, I did. I looked at Suzuki Bellino. That was in a different place. And that's actually the car that got away. Now that I think about it, like, it would have been cheap. We could have paid it off fairly easily. It was older. It was about 5 years old though. And that's the only thing. And significantly less powerful. Well, it had about 25 horsepower less. But you never hear that it's the mild hybrid version of that car being referred to as like a sporty or a nice car to drive on motorways. Don't you dare. But still, I do always think like something like that would be like, you know, a little bit unusual. But like only in a Citroen in the 70s when like everyone around you is driving Morrises and Austins and you just drive into the car park with like a Citroen. You're like, yeah, everyone knows it's like a bit tinny and cheap, but it's at least it's different. Come on, I want to concentrate. I have delusions that I could get sub 10 minutes, but I can't. I don't think I can make it 30 seconds before the finish line from here, but let me dream. Can't make it sub 10 minutes, but I can maybe make it sub 10:30. Oh, that was annoying. I don't know what happened there. I think the traction control put my brakes on. 10.6, second place. Get in. And that was like a full 20 seconds faster than that bastard 5 Series that I never filmed. This is good. And and you know what? I think they were both champagne coloured. I think that might be it. But I mean, well, this car was slightly damaged. It was pulling a bit to the left, but very lightly. Like you could see, I was holding the steering wheel like that. So yeah, it wasn't perfect, but and I think that BMW actually that was the third time I tried it, and it was I could just go back and watch the video, but I think it was the third time I tried it, and I didn't crash it. This one I did crash a little bit, and so okay, 15 seconds slower. Not bad, and I think I lost a couple of seconds at the end there because the traction control did something weird and slammed on the brakes. I'm happy with that. I'm happy that I've got the top 5. What are we looking at? We've got okay. I did actually just push myself out of the top 5. The Dacia Justo is now 6th. So now we've got 5 Series, superb. 5 Series, E-Class, 5 Series. Okay. So we're still at that like luxury executive German luxury executive Type 5 with a Czech interloper. I think we'll I want like a not one of not a luxury saloon to do it, but I can't think of a base model that's going to be able to. I thought the Lexus was going to be it, and you saw how badly I did that. So, okay, I've got more BMWs that I can do, and I've got more Mercedes that I can do, and that may just be it. That may just be all I've got to try and do well. But that Dacia Duster, bear in mind, is only 20. It's only about 35 seconds away from being. Oh no, only about 30 seconds away from being in the top, being top 3. So if I can get something that's like the Duster, a little bit faster, and I don't crash it, then I can shake up this top 5 a little bit more. I have an Astra, a 1.4 Astra. Theoretically, I think I could do it with that. I don't know. I know, I'm just going to have a look at what I've got. I'm not going to do another one now. Just having a look on camera, so I can think out loud about what could do it. I mean, I've done the compact, but I haven't done the estate or the saloon or the coupe. And I really want to do, like, I really love those base BMWs with those, I don't know what you'd even call them, like petal wheels. And the convertible I could do as well. I think convertible looks like it only came as a 1.8 lowest. Yeah, so I've still got plenty of like choice within sort of model ranges of cars. I could do the X5. I think there's a 3-litre diesel that's a base. Yeah. I think I had to make it though, because there was. I think because why did I have to make it? What was the problem? I think it's because there was this one, which was the late version, and I wanted an early one, maybe, or no, maybe I wanted the. So if you see a picture like that has like a background, that usually means I made the specification. I'm just trying to think. I think it's because I didn't want a silver car. That's usually literally what it is. I just don't like the color it comes in, so I just make a new version of it with a different color. That's probably what it is. Or sometimes people don't enable the ABS or something, and I'm like, that car came with ABS as standard, so I have to make a new version of the car with ABS, particularly on newer cars. Anyway, the X5 would be in with the chance, I think. A 3-litre diesel, yeah, it could get around there if I don't crash it. Citroen C1, I want to do it ain't gonna get in the top 5, even if I drive it perfectly. But it'll be fun. I'm sure it will be. Fiesta, not gonna get top 5. I don't think. The base model is a naturally aspirated 1 litre or something. 65. Yeah, well, actually, I think that's. Well, no. See, I'd really like a Focus or something, but there aren't any mods for a Focus. Not a European one. They've only got the US one. It isn't a Focus because it's always a 4-door. Or it has the weird post-facelift US version front end, which is horrible. Oh, there's a Subaru Impreza somewhere that actually that might do it. Oh, this Kia Optima might, I think, but I don't know if it's got the right engine. I think it's only got the US engine, which is 2 litres. I think the European one had a 1.6, but maybe it'll let me take the 1.6 from the Sportage and do it. We'll see. Sportage 1.6 as well. That might be in with a chance because that should theoretically be faster than the Dacia. Mazda Z6 maybe, because I believe that the base model of that was still a V6. Oh no, there's a 1.6. Oh no. No, I don't think there is. This might just be things people have made. The person has made. I'm pretty sure. I'll look into it, but I'm pretty sure the base model of this in the EU was a 2-litre V6. Because it didn't sell well at all, because it only had a 2-litre V6. Similar to the first X-Type, before, well, the only X-Type, but the original launch X-Type only had a 2.1 litre V6. Didn't sell at all. Okay. I know I'm rambling. Blah, blah. But that's potentially. I'm going to look up on Wikipedia what was the actual base model in Europe, and I'll make it if I have to. As long as they've got the engine in there, I can just hobble together a base model. And I don't think the base model's ever had black bumpers, so I think whoever made this was taking some creative liberties. MGZS modern car, 1.5 petrol. I don't think if they'll have the hybrid here, but that one, because the base models of that are quite luxurious. Nissan Pulsar looks nice, but actually it's a Sunny, and the base model is a Sunny, so probably not going to be that fast. But actually, maybe it's 1.6 nevertheless. And what was the other one I was about to talk about? Oh, there's a Subaru. The Subaru can be done in estate or two-door saloon. Base. I think maybe. So I think it's only 1.6 the base model, naturally aspirated. So, but then I don't know if they've actually done the real base engine or they just took like detuned another one. Rover 200 Coupe. I don't think they don't. It's not a great model, but it's beautiful because I love that car and I'm grateful it's here. 406, it's not a great model. It's built on top of the Pessima, and so the angles don't quite work. The wheels, the track of the wheels is too close together, I think. So I don't know how accurate it really is. These Golfs are a bit too moddy. This Passat will never get there because it had the most slow base models. Polo, probably not, too slow. This is going to do it. That's my golden ticket, that Volvo. And I think actually I know what I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to do the Volvo and maybe a Yugo. That Volvo, because the base Volvo was still like a 2-litre. Well, there's a diesel, but even that I think is a 2-litre diesel. I reckon I can do it easily. And there's an estate version in here, isn't there? Yeah. Yes, there is. I could do the diesel estate version to snazz it up a bit. Let's see when we get there. Thank you for watching and listening to me rant and look at cars. The video is it's only 47 minutes because that's what happens when I drive properly. Second time on each car, and get around the course in reasonable times. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which you'll be seeing something. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.